was a fan, nigga. You begged us. You are a fan, nigga.
He sat me down and showed me the magic to rap.
We taught you how to rap. How
Both
you?
a guardian angel and a designer. Have you gotten what exactly are you talking about? About? My, you aren't from Harlem. Why keep thinking that you are from what about Harlem? Bro, you aren't from Harlem. I did not grow up with you, my. Do you recall how we met? Pause, it was not met. How were you okay with us? Basically, you heard our freestyles and came over to me one day while I was chilling in front of the house. You said, yo, bro, heard the freestyles you guys are killing? More freestyles are released. You've all heard about what you did recently. Children of the Corn, 12-minute freestyle. Mase Cam'ron Cardin provides a DJ clue. Google Bloodshed and Camron, the Children of the Coin perform freestyle. Are you at any of these locations? No. You were not present. Dude, you weren't present. I was the CEO of Diplomats. I created Diplomats with him. I was with him during his journey. I
ran the whole organization.
But I put my life on the line for all of the shit, and you know, and everybody knew that.
You begged. You're fair. _ a fan. So you could sit around and act as if you're familiar with everything about Harlem. Have you ever seen somebody from Harlem? Try to act like they're from Harlem so bad that you've a continue to say I'm from Harlem. From Harlem I know who is from Harlem. You don't have Edo keep stating, you are from Harlem? Need to start a diet. He has to get his life together. He should go to the doctor and take a physical. He looks dreadful. Bad back ass. It seems enormous all around. The neck. The waist appears to be really large. I'm insulting his body. Have you heard? He needed to depart. Get his stuff together. Get on the treadmill, do a few push-ups. Take action, have you heard? Particularly for playing with me. Yeah, please listen. Dude, take a listen. You were spread out, and you begged come to your house after hearing all of these mixtapes. That is how you got in. Mase truly taught you to rap. Literally. Literally, he showed you how to rap. Mase showed me how to rap. Unsaid. We taught you how to rap. How you managed the entire organization. How did you become a diplomat? Yeah, you're not. I'm not making this up. You was a fan. That was how you first got down. Period. I heard what you did, yo. You do. You want to come through? Please come through. Why? Why are we heading to Joe's house? So certainly. I'd bring some over. There may be just a tiny bit. They know what I did and can dance around it all they want. They're joking, but they know I'll become irritated, which is going to be a major issue. Leave right now. Everyone who puts their hands on you or gives you whatever you want them. You tried to chase the French Montana out of the game. That won't work out. You guys are cool. It's awesome that you attended his video shoot. Please pardon me. This is not his video shoot. His film. You're sitting in the crowd, watching his premiere, and they're dissing you. Movie. You in the movie get dissing you. Have to eat it sitting in the they're dissing you. In the movie, you went to visit bro every time he did something to put pressure on you to sit there and figure things out. But when you have a genuine heart for you and everyone, that is a lovely pattern. If no one touches you, you can keep going indefinitely. But the ones who do this you keep cool with, and then you try to present it in a smart manner. You keep going on like _
Get off my
All this, yo, is all you got. You were fanned out. And
I'm never here to dismiss your character as much as you tried to trash my character for years and push me under the bus and say I ain't start this and I ain't do that. And you started Pink. Do you ever hear me mention when you ran? You made the Diplomats. BMF pulled up on me while you raced into the motel. They pursued you to the beach. You were playing in the sand. You were getting wet from the sea and the ocean. I am not pumping that. I do not pump all that, because I'm not trying to ruin your car. You understand why? Because of the revolution it was broadcasted. That is why I'm here. That is why God works in this way. That's why are you in murder here. The revolution was shown on television. You are talking. This _ is not a game. You cannot play with me too much. I gave him the floor to do that because it served no purpose for me. I have too many things to worry about and too much work to do. Stop playing with their freedom, buddy. This is the last time I'll address this. Best wishes for whatever comes next. I wished you well. I got others too. Do. This is not my mother's place. Believe whatever you want. Since I've got other things to do. Do you feel what I am saying? Murder. I don't want to snap any of them, but yes, I'm fine. Here's some popcorn statistics. Thanks. What was your response when Camron brought what's with all these ancient stories and everything about you? I am laughing. Man, two got this. Man. People chuckle about Thales, but the truth is always painful. You know, falsehoods are more entertaining. Have you heard? You'll get to chuckle. You're allowed to joke. The fact, however, is this is a significant issue. Regardless of how you look at, the truth is the truth. Mase taught me how to rap. And Cam. Constantly I made sure I was on every album he released. He said, "Boy, once you figure out how to rap the same way you act, these streets are going to work for you. Just keep going. That's all ISO. I always have to give credit where credit is due. And underscore like that, avoid being like Jim Jones. You are familiar with the internet, the lies get out of hand. The lies are spreading like wildfire on the internet. Meanwhile, lies begin to spread. From a tale, and a narrative begins with a person, and you just have to look at it that way. However, I have never been there, is no one in my life who cares about clearing up such rumors. Just take time out of my day to earn money. I understand who I am. I feel really at ease in my own flesh. I stand 10 toes down for everything I believe in. Everyone knows that I never modify my pivot. As you can see, I wouldn't be here if I did. Anything but me. I was in a gym. Everyone was over there with Jim for the CD release celebration. And Cam is standing over there with around 3 or 4 folks just staring on, and couldn't I suppose Jim is the person? There's no set the dips without Jim. Jim represents the gang, the banger of the crew. Cam is not a bloodline. I'm not sure if Joel's was. Too seriously doubt Freaky was. Right, but the set. Yes, it comes from the group. Right. All the gang ran under Jim. Right? Jim possessed all of the muscle. That wasn't Cam. You understand what I'm saying? Cam was very similar to the J. The artist's name was Cam. Jim and Cam were partners, so to speak, but Jim took on the position of being the underboss, the muscle to ensure that Cam could function and move around without having bad reputation or being robbed, among other things. So, Jim put his canard. He stood front line for anything regards to Cam. He then placed Dipset in front of him. Cam and Jim have a history that predates me. Do you get what I am saying? When I met Cam and Jim, they were quite close, so I honestly don't know who Jim is. From the Bronx and all that. You know, what am I saying? When I met them, they were in 5H, if you know what I mean. This is Jim's apartment. And that's, you know, I guess that time was, after all, Cam has previously mentioned, with the Children of the Corn, and Jim. Whatever he says. You understand what I'm saying? So, as I previously stated, when I arrived, Cam and Jim were like this, extremely tight. Mase wasn't, even at that picture. I don't know. That's how Mase rolls. You are aware of what I mean, saying. Each time I saw Mase, you understand what I am saying. There is respect there, so that's how it's been between me and Mase. You understand what I'm saying? As far as when I met Cam, and Jim, they were already Trump tight. You are locked in. You realize what I am saying. Diplomat's wit was already a name they had. You know, what am I saying? I do not sit there and pretend I did the dip. So that is not something I am doing. You know, what am I saying? I did, however, make a Dipset. The 2. Sure, I did that. You understand what I'm saying? Cam and Jim are separated by a wedge. Jim's success. Cam always glanced at him, as Jim is the star, and he is in charge. You understand what I am saying, right? But it's almost like Sammy the Bull becoming Mr. John Gotti. You understand what I'm saying? If Sammy becomes the main man, Gotti will most likely feel something. You understand what I'm saying? That is exactly how it is in that circumstance. Jim started to develop as an artist. As he grew as an artist, he moved from being behind Cam to standing next to him, and it came to a point when he stood and Cam was in front of him, looking over his shoulder as if to say, "Yo, what are you doing?" And that fueled the hostility. By the time balling struck, Cam had a gang of venom, an inner loathing. And I know because I saw it. I was present. I felt like he was a hater because I thought he was meant to be cheerful. Jim. He was weighed down. Jim was the powerhouse. Do you get what I am saying? Jim is Cam's partner. Pop, but he's playing, and taking a stride. I'm back to playing the muscle. But now, we have these platforms where they are asking folks, so it's like it's a fine line. So then you got Jim, like it's simply what others say. Why can't comment? Because while Jim was not assaulted, His name was mentioned. You get what I am saying? So it opens up the possibility for Jim to say something back. That is exactly what happens. You know what I mean with these podcasts, and like that, so it unlocks the door. And Jim picked two. You know, say Y is on his. You know what I mean, saying, that's what that is. Jim decided to carry it. You know what, so, what am I saying? And then, Cam, you have what you have because you chose to carry it the way Cam did. Have now. You understand what I'm saying? All I can say is that Jim and Cam are incredibly upon. You realize what I am saying? It came to a point when they had to compete with they are all connected. I really looked into the podcast the other day. I was viewing a lot podcasts. I think it's strange how everything these old stories are causing so much problems. These are just old stories. Even with what Cam stated. Cam said nothing. He said all of it on his live show. You know what I mean? Before or similar to what he did, he and Jim had a conversation. You know, they weren't on the greatest of terms years before. So, you know, it's just new for the new. Do you understand what I am saying, listeners? And the new online fans and the new folks who are on am aware of these podcasts and listen to them, so you know, this is basically like a double back. Something that occurred several years ago. You understand what I'm saying? So, did this again. You know, what am I saying? Regardless, so like to mention that I have my own troubles. With, you know, behind the scenes, or whatever it may be. We're all undoubtedly dealing with our own challenges, scenes with Wover, but you know,